Well, good morning, guys and gals. It's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and I'm back out here working on my addition again. And I told you I was going to show you how to do wall layout, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Before we do wall layout, you need to have a framing square, and I have two of them here. All framing squares are not created equal. I want you to notice something here. This has a hole in it so that you can read your tape measure through it when you're doing your layout work. But I want you to notice that this hole is off center. This is 1.5 inches across here, which is your standard layout here in the US. Notice this one, the hole is directly in the center. So when it's over a 4-foot layout or 16-inch layout, you can see the red mark. See, there are red marks on this tape. This is a layout tape. Every time it is 16 on center. So with this black one, which this one happens to be an Empire, it's not a paid advertisement. This one is dead center, which is where it should be. I started off using this one and I thought, you know, what's going on here? I know what my layouts are. I don't even have to use that hole anymore. So I just go 3/4 of an inch this side of center and 3/4 of an inch the other side of center. But where is my center? It's way back in here. This hole is off center. That's a maze. It'll still work if you know what you're doing, but if you're depending on that hole to get you lined up on your center, it ain't going to be of any help to you at all. See, there's your 8, and there's your little red mark. Now, I like using this particular kind of a tape. I call it a layout tape. This is a 50-foot or 100-foot, happens to be Stanley, but notice how flat it is. It's not curved like your regular tape measure. Here's your regular tape measure for size comparison, and its regular tape measure is much wider and it's curved so that you can extend it out further, and this tape probably will extend out to 8 feet without breaking its back. This is not made for this purpose, but this is made to lay flat when you're doing your layout work. So, to start off with, because this is not an end wall, this is a gable wall, I'm actually hooking on the outside of our end wall so that my 16 on center is from the outside point in. And that would be critical for siding. It won't be in this particular instance because we're using vertical siding all the way along, but it's still good to have, and it's good if you intend to finish off inside. Somebody had asked me the other day about why I had triple studs in the corner, and there is a reason for that. There's a method in my madness. Let me get a 2x4. This is the way you do it when you're building houses. Most of the time I would have full 3 studs, but it's not necessary. But here's the idea. When I bring my other wall in, I have a reveal on the back side, so when the sheetrocker comes along, he's got something to nail to his sheetrock there and something to nail to his sheetrock down here. So that's why I put triples in the corner. I do what I've always done, and it keeps things clearing my mind. Now, I said I started my layout from the outside, and I have gone all the way down this plate. I have top and bottom plate here, and the first thing I have done is I have gone along and I have marked all of my 16 on centers. Because even if you're going to have a window or a door, you may have to put cripples on the top or on the bottom depending if it's a window or a door. So you need that layout as well. So I have gone all the way along, and you'll see at every 16 inches on center, I have a layout, a layout, a layout, and so forth all the way down. Now, this wall is going to have a window over here and a double door over here. 5-foot wall. And I want you to notice something else that I have. In the process of doing this, you'll notice that when I come down here to this end, one plate is longer than the other. The bottom plate here is my top plate, and this plate over here is the bottom plate that'll be going down along the wall. The reason that there's a difference there, and I had mentioned this before, is that this wall is out of level. It is not plumb. So what I did was I took a full-length 2x4, stood it up against this wall, and put my level on it, and got it level, and then I marked on here where it would come. And this is the difference from down here to the top of the wall. So this will be my top plate. So, layout for a door. I'm using a 5-foot door here. 5 foot is 60 inches. You have to have a king stud, that's what my X's are for, and a jack stud. The jack goes underneath the header. In this case, both of these studs are going all the way to the top, but I'm going to explain more about that later. There will automatically be a king stud on the end. That one will be tight against the wall. This one will be out here. This one will be tight against the wall. That one will be back in there. But the stud will actually land out here because of the way it is, and I'll have to fill this in. Anyway, king stud, jack stud. Notice it's marked J. And I said it's going to be 5-foot opening. So I put my 5-foot mark, 60 inches, on the inside of my jack stud, right here. And then I come down here. Got to go around my tripod. And you notice I have a layout here at 8 foot. About 1/2 inch or more off of the side of this jack stud. But remember, I'm building the second door. The first door is a pre-made door that I took off of my house that's going on here. But the second door, which will actually be a little bit smaller because the door, prefabricated door, is 32 inches wide, and so we'll make the other door to fit accordingly. So it's not critical in this case. If you are using a regular door, if you're using a 3-foot door, 36-inch door, with a casing on it, it would be 38 inches. You always add 2 inches to the dimensional size, and usually that will get you close to the right framing. You need space on either side of your framing for adjustment of your door once you put it in place. All right, so here's our other jack stud, another king stud. Now we're going to come down here. Now we're going to put in a window, and I want to space my window equidistant between the edge of the door, which is here, and the wall. So I'm spacing it in the middle. There's the window that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be making a frame for that. I got a deal on it because it's just glass. It does have the insert in it. It is double thickness insulated glass, but it's been hanging around the lumberyard for a while, so they gave me a discount on it, sold it to me for 20 bucks. So that's what I'm going to use here. I have another similar size one over there that has the vinyl on it still, and then a small one that has vinyl on it. That's left over from some other project. So anyway, we'll make a frame for this. Actually, we'll be making frames for those too to fit into in the wall. So I will show you how I'm going to make the frame for this. But to do my layout, again, we're talking about layout here. Now, I've hooked my tape on the outside of the wall again, because when you look at it from outside, the corner studs are going to be in place, and so you want your window to be framed equidistant from the outside of the wall to your door frame. And you can see I have 8 foot here. This is not super critical, but it's good to get it really close. And here is my 4 foot right here, which is half of 8 feet. This window is a little under 32 inches wide, which is what we're concerned about the most here, and it's about 25 1/4 tall. So it's 32 plus excuse me, I'm going to use 1.5 inch framing around it to make a wood frame so that I can attach it to this wall. 32 and 1.5 inches is 33 1/2. So here's the center right here. I've already marked it. See, it says window and I got center mark. Half of 33 1/2, because we got 32 plus 1.5 inches, 3/4 gives you 33 1/2. And this worked out so that I have my king stud here, my jack stud here. The layout happens to be right here. But this will just be a jack stud. And we come down here, there'll be another jack stud here. I mean another cripple. I said cripple jack down there. Jack stud and king stud. Well, hi guys and gals. Back at it, and unfortunately the battery died on my camera and I didn't finish the first part of this video. But I'm back now, and I'm going to bring you up to date. As you can see, I have the wall all stood up and in place. And I wanted to point out a couple of things that might be helpful to somebody along the way. And I think the first thing to do is to go inside. I have a temporary step here. Yeah, made up out of an old wheel, a couple of pieces of plywood on top of it. So we can step right up in here. Now, first thing I wanted to show you is these wind braces that I put in. Back in Massachusetts when I was building houses, occasionally we had to put in what was called a hurricane brace, and that's essentially what these are. And you don't have to put them on all walls, but if you're building a wall that will not have solid wood sheathing on it, that will help to stabilize it and strengthen it, then you need some kind of cross bracing to keep it from racking. These walls, this wall over here in particular, and the back wall probably are going to have vintage tin on it. The front of the addition is going to have wood. So all this is, they didn't even know what I was talking about when I asked about hurricane strapping. Sounds like we got a thunderstorm coming in. But you've all seen these rolls of metal strapping like this, with the holes perforated in it. And that's all I did. I put these up before I took off my outside brace so the wall was straight. And I put one screw at the top, and then I came down the bottom and I put a 16 penny nail in, and if you look close you could tell that it's in kind of at an angle. may be better on this one over here. And I put it in at an angle so that as I pounded it in, it actually stretched my brace and flattened it out, because these are coiled up in a roll, so they got kinks and stuff. But as you can see, by angling the nail and then pounding it in, it stretches it right out straight. And then I have come along and I have put a screw in each stud down along the brace. And I can tell you this wall is nice and stiff, nice and sturdy. And it will work out well. I was a little bit concerned that I was going to intersect the area where I was going to be putting a window, but my window is going to be going right in here. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you up on my step ladder here and show you where that window is going to go. This window is going to go right up in here, just like that. So I'm going to have to cut these studs, and I will be putting a header in. So this will probably be down about like that, which is perfect for looking out and looking at the woods. So I'll show you that when I do it. And I have already started making the window frame for this window. This one is just a piece of glass, and I'll show you how I made that. I haven't done it, finished it yet, but I'll show you how to do it, put it together, and then I'll show you installing it. And the reason I have a triple plate on this window opening here is because I was just using these studs that were cut-offs from the 16-foot 2x4s that I had. This is all culled lumber, you got to remember. All of this lumber on all these walls and all of the floor joists, everything is culled lumber. In other words, it was twisted and bent and weather checked. You can see this one here, got a lot of weathering on it. And so the lumberyard didn't want to be selling those at full price. The plywood is not culled. It was, you know, top grade, good stuff. But everything else is culled lumber, and I'm coming down to the end of my culled lumber. I'm going to have to buy some regular lumber because they don't have any more. I got 3 2x4s left here, and that's going to give me, let's see, I get 2 studs out of each one, so that's going to give me 6 studs for over here. And I have my bottom plate and top plate laid out, and it's starting to rain, so I got to do this quickly. This part here over the doorway, I'm actually going to end up cutting out the plate up here because I need that much more clearance. I've already cut out the bottom plate. That's going to have a double door, single pre-made door, and then a homemade door. And that works out well because I had to put a top plate on anyway, and I will probably put another plate over in this area because I've got a stud up to the rafters, although it's not going to be that much higher. And it also gave me the opportunity with the double plate to tie in the corner. So my double plate goes right over the end wall and ties the 2 walls together. So as well as being nailed together down, it's also tied in at the top. And I will be putting another piece across the top after I build this gable end over here, which will tie in there, and then I'll fill in over there, and that'll give me this added strength I need for my rafters to sit on there. And then my rafters are going to be going pretty close to up underneath the existing rafters there, although they won't be in the same plane with them because that roof is not perfectly level. We're going to make it level. make this one level. That building it is what it is. So that's where we're at today. I got this all framed up, put it together, lifted it up by my own self. Of course, I didn't have to have my wife helping me hold it, or holding the braces and putting them in place, because I didn't need them. This wall was already braced this way, and I left the brace in, like we have here. I left that in until I got my wall stood up and nailed in place, and now it's nailed to that building and nailed over here. And you can tell if you look at my first space here that, yeah, it's quite a bit wider at the bottom than at the top, and it even has a whoopee to it, but that's okay. That's the old building is crooked. The new building is not. I can see I have a lot of cleaning up to do. There's lots of bent over nails. This is hard oak, and everybody who's ever tried pounding nails into it has found out that they just bend over. So this will all be inside the building. I probably will eventually replace probably these three here, and I will replace that one there that is missing the top. I'll have to do that before I put my roof on. So that's where we're at today. Now, I'm going to sit down here. I'm going to take you up onto the porch up there, and we're going to talk about the giveaway. Do you ever wonder if these carpenter bee traps work or not? Look at that puppy. There's 2 or 3 of them in there that are still alive, and that thing is ready to be emptied, but not until after they're dead. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you all about the giveaway. I know I'd said tomorrow was the preparatory video, but I'm going to be uploading it tonight. You'll be watching this, well, the first people will be watching it on Tuesday night. And I had said that on Thursday was when I would do the drawing, but I realized that only give people one day to say I'm in, and not everybody would have the opportunity to see it maybe in one day. So here's what we're going to do. I'm changing the order. I'm going to post this tonight, Tuesday night. This is the 19th. And I think it's the 19th. Isn't it the 19th? I don't know. I haven't got my cell phone. Can't tell you what the date is. Tuesday night anyway. And I am going to let it run until Saturday. I think that'll be a more fair way to do it. Give more people an opportunity to join in. And so this is the video that I'm doing right now that you want to say I'm in, or count me in, or whatever you want to say, to join in on the 8,000 subscriber giveaway. And there is another thing that I wanted to modify. I had said that they would be Harbor Freight gift cards, but that kind of eliminated some of my friends who don't live in the continental United States. So you will have your choice of either a Harbor Freight gift card, $25, or a postal money order of $25. That way I can send it anywhere in the world, and y'all can use it for whatever you want to use it for. If you're in the U.S. and you'd rather have a postal money order than a Harbor Freight gift card, that's fine. So I'll be giving away 3 $25 gift cards, either for Harbor Freight or whatever you choose. And we'll do that drawing on Saturday evening, and I will announce the winner that evening, because I will do a random, I don't know what they call it, random generator. I'll put all the names into a hat. Maybe I'll be my own random generator. Do it the old school way. I'll cut up the names and put them in the hat. Maybe I'll have my wife reach in from the side. She won't want to be on the video, but I'll have her reach in while I hold the hat on top of my head like this, and she'll grab 3 names out of the hat that will be the winners for the giveaway. So thank you all for following along with my project. You can see it down there in the background. Our Addition project. And also for joining in and supporting my channel for, I don't know, I think 2009, I think was my first video. So this is 12 years, I think. 12, 13, 14 years. Whatever, been a while. Many of you have been following me almost from the beginning. And I thank you for following along and becoming my friends. And as I've said before, if you don't have your name as part of your online moniker, I would appreciate it if you would share with me your first name. You don't have to give me your whole name, just your first name in one of your comments. It could be on this video, that would be great. I like calling my friends by their first name. And speaking of calling friends by first names, I have one of my followers who has been following me for several years. He goes by the name of Harry Faber. That's all lowercase, all one word, but it's 2 names. His first name really is Adrian. And Adrian said he thought that I should wear my teeth when I do my videos. Well, Adrian, I put in my false teeth for this video because it's a special announcement. And I did it because you asked for it. And but don't expect me to do it all the time. I don't wear my false teeth at home most of the time. So we're amongst friends, you know. And if I were to come to your house, well, most of the time when I leave the house, I put my teeth in. But when I'm here, if you come visiting me here at my house, in my own territory, well, what you see is what you'll get. Thanks again for watching. They do call me Goofy and Daffy, after all. Thanks again for watching, commenting, subscribing, thumbs up, sharing, all of them good things. Liking. Yeah, we appreciate them all, and I appreciate you all. Till next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying bye for now. Yeah, we finished that just in time. It's pouring now.